everyone's been asking me, what is the refrigerator social media method? So I'm going to tell you some tips and tricks that have actually worked for me. And I think it's great that you all are here because I know, being an entrepreneur myself, owning my IP practice for 10 years, that when you post things on social media, you want results. So often we get caught up in the numbers, and I'm going to show you a few slides now to let you know why I'm qualified to be here. So again, welcome to this presentation. So basically what happened was I was watching the Today Show, and I noticed that Kathy and Hoda Lee were talking about Twitter. This was in 2009, and they were saying everybody's on Twitter. They walked through how to set it up, and they were saying people were posting things. I'm eating an egg. I'm walking the dog. And I was thinking, why would anybody want to use this? But what I have to tell you is I've always had a good reputation for being a networker. Everywhere I would go, people would say, oh, you always know everybody. And I never knew why, I had that gift of meeting people and networking and keeping in touch with them. So I like to say I kind of was popular. I felt like I was popular, but I was really disappointed when I signed up for Twitter and posted my very first tweet, writing patent applications with my website. I'm waiting for 1,000 people to retweet it. I'm waiting to be contacted. But I do want to tell you that once I figured out how to actually use Twitter, I was contacted by several national magazines and publications because when they were looking for immediate quotes, they would just tweet me and say, oh, can you comment on what a patent is, or can you comment on this law? So I want to make sure that you know that you can take advantages of tools like Twitter. And it's not necessarily about being the best patent lawyer or being the best family lawyer. It's about potential clients knowing that you're out here and that you exist. So this is before I even knew that you're supposed to write and complete sentences. So, that's why it says writing patent applications. So I just wanted to share my very first tweet. So another kind of good social media win is when you have unsolicited recommendations. So one of my college friends, actually, unbeknownst to me, I didn't ask, posted one day, I guess she just felt the urge to say, I would highly recommend my Spellman sister for all her trademark and patent work. She's the only attorney I would ever use for something so important. You should protect my brand, your brand. I am with her. And then she put all these hashtags. Stopping this thievery, stealing is not the same as sharing. So all that was extra, but I took a screenshot of that and posted that on my own Instagram page, to continue to let people know. So another way to kind of expand your social media presence is by an unsolicited recommendation. Now, another example, these are just examples, and I'm going to give you some actionable tips because we're talking about this social media refrigerator method today. I actually had a client that was working with a law firm and was having problems trying to get his patent, contacted my firm. So I got him a patent. So he tweeted one day, just filed for my trademark thanks to Evans IP Law. I can't say enough about professionalism and timeliness of the work. Thanks, Andrea. And then he, I guess, felt even more compelled. Oh, she did an unbelievable job on my patents as well. She's a great resource for new inventors, so knowledgeable. But I'm posting this because I have to tell you all that it is truly amazing the reach and grasp that you can have using social media. Like just being on Twitter, like I said, alone has afforded me the opportunity to be interviewed in national publications. Now, Periscope is another story. This is my screenshot. And again, you don't have to have 25 million followers. You don't have to be the Ashton Kutcher of social media. It's about results. So at this time, believe it or not, I only had 2,455 followers. And I was trending on Periscope twice, okay? Now, I don't know how many of you use Periscope, but a lot of my colleagues were saying, what are you doing? What are you posting on there? And as an IP attorney, I was providing general information. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that use social media because we don't want to pay thousands of dollars to hire someone to market. We don't want to be on a billboard and don't have the money to be on commercials. So I would recommend, and I'm glad you're here to take all these good notes, because I believe you have to know how to do things from the ground up. So a lot of people hire companies to do their social media for them, but because it's an extension of your brand, it has to be authentic and from your own voice, because now it's to the point where people sort of copy different things that I post, but if it's using my Texas twang, it's not going to sound right if you're from New York, you know, so you want to be authentic. These are some just general statistics about social media. So I just want to kind of take a poll. We know that most people use Facebook, and then after that we have about 238 million users on Twitter. Instagram has 700 million, and LinkedIn has 500 million. And I don't know about you all, I like at least, what, 1% of that, you know, those people to be my clients. So this is just a market that you can actually reach here. Now, I further narrowed that to what lawyers use. So I'm just curious, they say most lawyers use LinkedIn. So raise your hand, do you use LinkedIn to get business? Has that been successful for you? Okay, has it actually worked to get clients though? Raise your hand if you've ever gotten a client because of something you posted on LinkedIn. Okay, so a few people have. How about Facebook? Do you have a Facebook page for your law firm? Okay. Get any clients from it? Okay, so that's good. And then how about Twitter? Anybody use Twitter? Okay, and are you getting clients from it? Okay, and then how about Google+? Okay, so not everybody's hand went up for everything, but that raises a good point that you do have to figure out what works best for you, because everybody's not going to want to be great at LinkedIn. And honestly, for me personally, LinkedIn has been a good tool to expand my brand to other lawyers. I'm in a very niche practice, so there are not a lot of people that know a lot of IP lawyers, so they think of me. So I personally think that's good to expand your professional brand. But for clients, the Facebook pages have really been great. How many of you use video? Does anybody go on and use Facebook Live or Periscope? Okay, and has that worked out for you? Okay, so when we leave here, everyone will be implementing this social media refrigerator method. So you're dying to know why I called it that, right? That's why you're here, because you've already raised your hand to tell me that you're on social media, so you want to know what this method is. So it's three things. With the social media refrigerator method, it's being cool, it's being modern, and it's being connected. Because raise your hand, when is the last time that you unplugged your refrigerator? Never, probably never, right? Because refrigerators always stay connected. So when I think about the refrigerator method, I think about all of us always being connected. So that's what you want to think about, because it's one thing to use social media, and a lot of attorneys I find use it incorrectly. You may post today that you're a patent attorney, but after you post that more than one time, people feel like you're not sharing any valuable information with them, so they don't want to follow you. So the key is posting things that are going to make people want to follow you and make people think that you're cool. Now, honestly, I have to be honest, being a patent attorney, I was doing a lot of tweeting around Shark Tank. You know, I was just posting my 2 cents. I see someone go on there, and I've had a few clients on there, and I post, oh, you know, I really like that invention, or that's my client. I started getting all these different followers, and people were asking all these questions. But one tweet actually stood out where the guy said, you're just such a cool attorney. I'm going to invent something so I can work with you. And I had to step back and look at my tweets like, well, what am I posting here? But it's amazing that your personality can just basically show through 140 characters or less. You know, that's really incredible. So you want to be modern too, and what I mean by that is you don't want to post things that are not current, and we're going to give some specific examples here today. And last but not least, you want to be connected. Now, I'm also a mom, and I do own a STEM program too, so the worst thing I think you can be known for is the B word, right? No one wants to be boring. No one wants to have that boring social media, you know, when your kids say this is boring. So you don't want people to associate your brand with being boring. And so the question is, are your posts cool or are they boring? So I thought that was funny. You all are supposed to be laughing. And okay, good. Okay, so we want to go from boring to cool. So if you're one of those people that you're just like, I don't see the point in even having social media. It's not doing anything for my brand. I want to change your opinion about that, especially because it's such a new and untapped market for lawyers, especially because if you're the first in your field to get out there and post things and become that go-to person, it will definitely expand your brand. So you're already using tools like Clio and Lexicata that are making your life easier, but once you figure out how to post the right things and automate these things, then it works for you when you're not even working. So the first thing is you want to be social. So you don't want to get caught up in being one of those accounts that post every day, but then when people immediately respond to what you're saying, you never answer them. So you have to communicate with them. So if they ask you a question, you want to be able to communicate. So social media means being social, not just posting, some blind post about something. And you want to post content that's going to benefit others. So again, you may tell them in your profile, hey, this is the type of law I practice, this is my name, and people know you for that, but you may want to post something about some rule of law that may affect them, or just something in general, because we also are going to talk about being careful what people won't think that you're their attorney, because you don't want to post something and someone says, oh, that was exactly my issue, but you said this. So with lawyers, there's always this gray area, so you want to be careful about that. And again, you want to be natural and authentic. So if you're one of those people that can write, you may want to blog. If you're one of those people that don't have time to write, but you're good on camera, you may want to do video posts or live streaming. So you want to be strategic, and most importantly, you want to be consistent. So this goes for blogging and everything you post. If you grasp everyone's attention and you have millions of people following you and then you just fall off the map, it kind of loses its momentum. So we want to keep that going. So again, with choosing the right platform, like I said, there's so many different options here. And honestly, I will tell you, social media is like a job, but I reward myself with it. So after I accomplish something for a client, I may post something, just to kind of take a break or check what's going on social media. And honestly, I get a lot of clients because they say sometimes you're the only one that responded to me. I tried to call, and we know sometimes we're busy, so you want to have systems in place where people are responsive, because then that means you're not too busy. And you have to be careful about what you post, because if every day you post that you're so tired, that you're so busy, and you're so overworked, clients aren't going to want to work with you because you're so busy already, you don't have time for them. So you want to make sure that you're not posting things like that. So what I would like to kind of make you think about today is what you're really good at. So if you're good at audio, you may want to think about creating a podcast. And maybe if you can't figure out what content to post, you want to think about partnering with people that already have platforms. And when I say platforms, they already have what I like to call a tribe, because that's the key. You want people to talk about you when you're not even around, where people are just constantly promoting you because you did such a good job for them. And there's so many different groups on Facebook, and I don't know if you've explored them, where people are saying, I'm a divorced mom. Well, you may want to just get in that group, and when people say, hey, do you know a divorce attorney? Maybe someone will tag you in that post. So those are ways to do it. But you want to think about audio, video, and pictures, because Instagram, believe it or not, actually is a very good tool. And social media has truly been amazing for me, because I've actually started working with some celebrities for their trademarks who followed me on social media and apparently just said they just like my overall brand. So it's all about being strategic and authentic and thinking about what you post. Now, the key, though, is you don't want to go overboard and start posting confidential information, and be careful about that. And I have this, but you say they're just your friends, because a lot of people say, well, my Facebook account is closed just to my friends and other people can't see them. But we all know that whatever you post on social media lives forever. Someone can take a screenshot of that and pass that on, and ultimately that can become public. So we don't want to get disbarred trying to post things on social media. And you want to make sure, and I was reading all these articles about just people on social media saying that they were forming attorney-client relationships. And so you want to be careful and post general information. And then when people say, oh, well, I have a specific question, that's when you can back that up by saying, okay, now here's my intake process. So those are things to think about. So that's what it takes to be cool, okay? So you want to be cool. And then you want to be modern. You want to post things on social media about current events and trending topics. Now, this is a good trick because we all know about hashtags. So you can go to Twitter, and when you log in, you can see the top 5 to 10 trending hashtags. And 9 times out of 10, they may not even be related to law. But some kind of way, if you maybe form an opinion about that or tie that in, like I said, I do patent, trademark, and copyright law, so the whole Redskins issue. You know, they hashtag the Washington Redskins name, and I can post different generic rules about what it means for a name to be disparaging and just general information, and then that ties people to looking at me as the expert. So who do we need? Who's available? Because the news and media outlets don't have time to go through and call people. They want instant answers. So I'm telling you, this stuff works. So you want to be careful and be mindful of hashtags and take advantage of them. But of course, also be mindful and not infringe on someone's trademark. So you can't use a hashtag that's a brand and then start trying to make a profit and sell and have links and different things that'll tie them back to purchasing things from you, because that could be quasi-trademark infringement. So be careful about that. And then again, just keep it general. Now, being a lawyer, you know how it is. It's kind of like your friends that are doctors, right? Every time you have an ailment, someone's calling their friend the doctor to say, what do you think? Same thing as a lawyer. Even though you may not be a divorce lawyer, someone may ask you about that kind of thing. So just be careful and post things about your general practice area and keep them general. But if you can't think of things to post, think about the top 10 questions people ask you all the time. You know, the top 5 mistakes. So the top 5 mistakes can be 5 posts right there. And then you can have sub-posts. So you want to think about what you're posting. And you can share opinions about breaking news when it happens. So you can do things, because social media, I mean, it's amazing. We live in a time now where people are going to Twitter for information before they go to the news. Like the news is reporting things from Twitter. So it's definitely a tool that we all can take advantage of. Now, sometimes I see on different Instagram pages where instead of people posting pictures, they may post a generic sort of picture of forest and say, you know, walk down your own path or something like that. If you post those kind of generic, kind of motivational posts like that, you want to tie them back into your business. So, you know, you took the road less traveled and you're an entrepreneur, hashtag, don't forget to protect your brand. You know, those kind of things that you can think about to bring it back to your brand. And then, of course, if you have any behind the scenes information and exclusive information, you want to post it. And so, of course, this is a social media presentation, so I got to go to my next slide, and we have to take a selfie, because if you don't, you know, post things while it's happening, it didn't happen. So I have to post this, and I'll post it later so you all can see it. So everybody, let's see. I don't know if okay, say cheese. Okay, so next we want to think about what it takes to stay connected. Again, so remember, this refrigerator model is being cool, being modern, and so now we want to be connected. And so I just want to remind you all, and I think this is something that they never tell you in law school. They make law school so competitive, right? Where people would study and wouldn't want to give you the information, but you really honestly have to treat every single person that you meet as a potential client, because you never know when someone's going to have a friend of a friend that needs a divorce lawyer, or someone's going to invent something to need a patent attorney. And so I would say treat everyone like that and collect as much information as you can, because it's all a system, right? And so what I do for my firm that really works is I post all these things on social media, but I also have a newsletter. So in the 10 years that I've had my firm, I've built my newsletter up to about 10,000 people, which I'm very proud of, because I'm a patent, trademark, and copyright lawyer, and it gets to the point where I go to different events and people are saying, hey, I got your newsletter, and someone says, well, I'm not on it, please add me to it, and they're asking, can I be added? I'm like, can you be added? Yeah, sure. But when I post different general information about speaking at conferences, every time I post it, it then gets forward on, and you know, it's a way to then build your brand, because people, as you know, form relationships with you, but it takes time. So you may not necessarily get a client today on the spot, but it's good to start building that relationship, because that's what it's about. Now, you want to not be, people always say that people brag about what they do, but it's not about bragging about what you do, but it's about letting people know what you do. So I want to encourage you all today to go back to your personal Facebook pages, and when you look at your description of what you do, it may say mom of 3 or, wife to whatever or husband to whatever. Make sure you just say owner of the whatever law firm, because you'd be surprised about how many people don't even know what you do, so they post something and say, oh, I just got a divorce and I hated the attorney I work with, and you're saying, oh, I didn't even realize that you needed a divorce lawyer, that kind of stuff. So you want people to know you as the expert. And it does really go far, because, your reputation will definitely precede you in this industry, and we all know that. And people are always watching. It's really amazing. So when I leave here, I'm actually going to Kansas, and I'm going to film a national television show for inventors. And they found me from social media. Just make 48. So I want you all to watch it. But inventors are going to have 48 hours to solve a problem. And they're going to have to make the invention, pitch the invention, come see the expert patent attorney on the show. And I'm going to have to tell them if their invention is patentable. But these are, I'm telling you, real life things that work. Like, I know we're all bogged down with work and trying to manage our time and work smart, but once you get in the groove of doing things, there are all these different ways that you can automate systems with Hootsuite and different platforms once you get your rhythm going. But I'm kind of like that Oprah model where she still signs her checks. You want to make sure that you know how to do every single thing in your business. So everybody walk out of here, and if you haven't posted on Twitter, just start. And like I said, it's not going to be an immediate, okay, I'm going to hire you, but then people will start to follow you. And then when you retweet other people that have good information to say, like for instance, the patent office is where you would file your patents. So if you retweet what they say, then people will then start seeing that you're retweeting them, and they'll want to follow you as well. And just be careful. Now, this is the problem I personally have about having my law firm, is that because I am on social media, sometimes people will inbox me on Facebook, and they're posting all this confidential stuff. Well, I have an invention, and I'm waiting on you to call me back, and I posted on Saturday at midnight on Facebook that I needed your help. And I'm like, well, call the real law firm up, call my office. So you have to keep reminding people that even though you're on social media, you still want to defer them to your business. If you're wondering why that you put up your firm's website and the clients didn't start lining up around the block, it's probably because they don't know that you're out there. And so I definitely would recommend that you take advantage of, social media. And you definitely want to use this cool refrigerator social media method, right? Being cool, modern, and connected. When you're thinking about starting your social media sites, or let's say you haven't, you want to definitely reserve your name on social media, because no one wants to be Evans IP Law #2 or Evans, my Evans IP Law. You want to have control over your brand. So whatever your firm name is that you want to create, go ahead and lock that in, even if you don't plan to use it. So when you start talking about your own brand, you want to think about that. Now, I posted good things. Thankfully, knock on wood, I haven't had any problems with people posting negative things. I try to pride myself in doing a good job. But be careful, because you want to police your own trademark and your social media site, and you want to control your reputation. And I want to thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and it was so great speaking to you all today. Thank you. Thanks again.